Okay, so show that the thermal energy, that's Q, right, is 238 joules. Well, that's going to be the change in internal energy plus the work, okay? Now notice that both of those are going to be actually negative. They're going to be negative things. So it says transferred from the gas. That's a negative Q, right? So we got to figure these out independently. So let's do work first. Work is pressure, change in volume. We know the pressure at C is, well, they said show that it's 1 times 10 to the 6th, right? Okay, that's also the pressure at B. It's the pressure for that whole process, right? Okay. So we're going to go, the work is 1 times 10 to the 6th. Okay. And then the change in volume, of course, you're going to go final minus initial, right? So it's 1.85 times 10 to the minus 4th minus 2.80. That's this one, right? Times 10 to the minus 4th. All right, so let's do that. And when I do that, I get this is negative 95 joules. All right, so now let's figure out the change in the internal energy. And there's two ways to do this, by the way. The easiest way is that U is 3/2 nRT, so therefore change in U is this, right? But it's also, by the way, it's also 3/2 P delta V, and that's what I'm going to do here because, I don't know. I think we know what N is. We figured it out. But, I mean, you could, because at A, you know the pressure, the temperature, and the volume, right? So you could figure out N from that. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this, okay? So 3/2 P delta V. Well, this is P delta V, right? So 3/2 times negative 95 is negative 142.5. Right, and now we can figure out the Q. Q is change in U plus work. The change in U is negative 142.5. The work is 95. Let's do it. And I get that it's negative 237.5 joules, which is almost negative 238 joules. Okay. Now you can make this a lot harder if you want to. You could figure out the number of moles from this, right? Because number of moles is going to be PV over N over RT, right? You could figure out the moles. Then you could figure out the temperature here, right? Or no, you could use this guy, right? Since we know the temperature here and the temperature here. The temperature here is 385. Temperature here is 254. Right, you could do it that way as well, okay? But, you know, I say do it this way. That's what I would do. But it's up to you. I'll leave that up to you entirely. And by the way, if you use the unrounded version stuff, you get different answers slightly. Like I got 238.5 for one of mine. I got 237.6 for another one. So, and that's because they've given you these values, but they're not exact, okay?